Hey everybody, today is November 29th of 2020. Many of us waking up this morning to news of the passing of David Prowse, the man who was behind the Darth Vader mask in the original Star Wars trilogy from 1977 through 1983. Interesting fact about David Prowse is that apparently he had recited all of the lines while he was doing the acting in the suit, unknowing that James Earl Jones would actually be voiced over. So it was a surprise to him when he saw the film. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the numerology of Prowse's passing and how it also relates to James Earl Jones, the voice of Vader. We'll also glance at the eclipse code and explain how the passing of Prowse is related to this year's 2020 total solar eclipse. So let's get right into this. The first thing that stands out is that David Prowse has passed away at the age of 85. And interestingly enough, the number 85 is a number that connects his name to Vader in Gematria. Using the standard reverse alphabetic order, where Z is assigned 1 through A as 26, the name Vader has a numeric value of 85. Prowse's full name was David Charles Prowse. This name sums to 85 in the standard reduction method, where each double-digit letter is reduced to a single digit prior to adding it to the equation. James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, celebrates his birthday on January 17th. Notice how Prowse's death falls a span of 51 days, or just 50 days without the end date before his birthday. In the standard alphabetic order, Darth equals 51, and Vader sums to 50. Prowse has passed away on a date with primary numerology of 79. Now, the reason this stands out to me is because his character, Darth Vader, dies in the film Return of the Jedi, which in standard reduction gematria sums to 79. 79 is the ordinal value of the word murder. Also notice the 83. This film was released in 83, and again, the name is Return of the Jedi, which sums to 83 in reverse reduction. The number 79 is what we call a prime number. Prime numbers only divisible by 1 and the number itself. 79 is the 22nd prime number. This has been a massive number this year, here in 2020, which has numerology of 22. Notice how the phrase total solar eclipse equals 202, just like the name David Charles Prowse. And he died 2 weeks and 2 days before this year's total solar eclipse. Now, as it turns out, the eclipse code is actually pretty significant in the passing of David Prowse. And just think about this. Right now, we're in a very significant period in the United States. The year 2020 is halfway between the two great American total solar eclipses, which create an X over the United States. In a couple of weeks, there will be a total solar eclipse, as you see on the right side of your screen, that passes over South America. And this eclipse is the exact halfway point between this set of eclipses on the left side. Now, in numerology, we talk about this eclipse code and how the numbers 156 and 666 are connected to it. Now, here's a slide explaining why the number 156 is so significant and how it's connected to 666. An eclipse always occurs 1, 5, or 6 lunar phases after the most recent one. In Hebrew, the word for eclipse equals 156. And in English, eclipse the sun equals 156. Notice how Darth Vader Anakin Skywalker has Gematria of 156 in reverse. David Prowse was born on July 1st. This means he was a Cancer, which is the sign that's ruled by the moon. And I want you to think about the symbolism here. David Prowse playing Darth Vader. And in the Star Wars series, Darth Vader creates the two Death Stars. Could this be symbolism for the moon and this set of total solar eclipses crossing over the United States? When Prowse died, he was 1,056 lunar phases old. He was also 13 days after turning this age in moons. And of course, 13 is a massive moon number, as I commonly discuss. But there you see the 156 number in his age. And again, eclipse is 156 in Hebrew. 33 sums to 156 in English. And 33 is the reduction value of eclipse, 33. Well, check out how the last name Prowse also equals 33. And his death occurs in the second Death Star. Death Star equals 33. Second Death Star, 156. Now this points us to the crucifixion code. In the Gospels, the crucifixion of Jesus occurring while darkness falls over the sky, an event akin to an eclipse. They say that Jesus was 33 years old in 33 AD. Crucifixion of Jesus Christ is 303 in English and Jewish. So is Prowse's full name when added to Darth Vader. The date on which he died, November 28th, leaves 33 days in the year and is the 333rd day of a leap year. Now let's talk about how his death connects to the two Great American Total Solar Eclipses. Using Trigonal Gematria, the name David Prowse sums to 1227. In Hebrew, total eclipse sums to 227. And notice how he died 1,227 days before the second eclipse. His death also falls 2,270 weeks following his death in the film Return of the Jedi. In Gematria, Return of the Jedi equals 227 in reverse. On the date of his death, Prowse was 31,197 days old. Now this number contains the sequence 1197, which is the Gematria of 666, and news of his death was published a span of 1,197 days after the first Great American Eclipse. Notice how actor James Jones has 666 Gematria. A couple of other interesting things that popped out. When you add Prowse's full name to Darth Vader, you get 150 in English and Jewish Gematria. His death fell 150 days after his birthday, and today's news is 15 days before the eclipse. This 150 days is also 4 months and 4 weeks. 44, a kill number. Today has a life lesson number of 44. And check out how David Prowse sums to 440 and 1903, like the 44th prime number, 193. His death also falling 193 days after the anniversary of both The Phantom Menace, where we were introduced to Anakin Skywalker, saw the beginning of his journey. This is the same date, May 19th, that the film Revenge of the Sith was released, which is where Anakin turned into Darth Vader. So I really should have put a couple of pictures of some Death Stars in this post to explain how the death of the two moons could be symbolic of these two total solar eclipses. It'll be curious to see what killed David Prowse. They say he died after a short illness. which is always interesting. You know, I suppose it's possible there's something fishy going on here, but to anyone who's very certain, believing that this man was murdered, you know, I ask, who kept him alive to the age of 85? You know, that always makes me think more about what's going on, especially considering how James Earl Jones is 4 years older, and he too is still chugging along, age 89. But to me, you know, David Charles Prowse, 202, like total solar eclipse, dying 2 weeks and 2 days before the 2020 eclipse. 22, the 79th, or I'm sorry, the 22nd prime is 79, like Return of the Jedi and the numerology of his death. All of these just massive riddles here. Something I also want to mention is that the last main character of Star Wars to die was the man who played Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, who passed away last year in April. Of course, Carrie Fisher was a big one. That was in 2016. We can probably look at both of those here. But the reason I want to look at Mayhew is because if you measure from the date that he died to the date of the death of Darth Vader, you get 1 year, 212 days. So this is like the number 1212. And in Sumerian Gematria, David Charles Prowse equals 1212, just like total solar eclipse. And then Carrie Fisher, she passed away in 2016 on 12/27. Look at that. So we just talked about the number 12/27. David Prowse, 12/27, dying 1,227 days before the next American eclipse, 2,270 weeks after Return of the Jedi, which equals 227. Wow. Look at this. He dies 1,433 days after Carrie Fisher. Look at this. 1433 is the 227th prime number. Going to have to either add to this post or maybe make a new one talking about how his death is related to these other Star Wars actors. But that's incredible. It didn't take long to see the riddle there. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace, love, God bless. R.I.P. to David Prowse. And we'll talk to you on this channel next time. See ya.